Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Do you even journal, bro? Doesn't really come out the same one if I say sis, does it? Do you even journal, sis? Let's talk about journaling. Journaling. I know you're a woman, so that means you have a cajillion journals with like cool fucking sayings on the outside. I get them too. I know. I'm going to journal. I'm going to write shit. But do you actually do it? Do you actually use them? Do you use the excuse of I got to get the right kind of journal before I actually journal and don't just realize all it has to be is a book with fucking paper in it? Do you even journal? Have you journaled before and then you stopped? Do you sit down with your journal and go, I don't know what to write, therefore I'm not going to journal? You know, one of my past coaches said something really profound to me. Now, this is a man who faith, religion is a big part of who he is, but I still heard it for what I wanted to hear in it. It was this: your journal is your personal scripture. Your journal is your personal scripture. It's who you are. It is your thoughts. It is your beliefs. It is you having a conversation with you. It is figuring stuff out. You right now spin around in your head and think somehow that's figuring stuff out. You can do that. That is a strategy. It's just not a really fucking good one. It's not a sustained one. The biggest insights I've had in my life, let me rephrase that. Some of the biggest insights I've had in my life have come through journaling. So right now, as I record this podcast, there's a big shift that you're going to see happening with Women Wanting More. Big shift. Similar message, just different. It's evolving. As I evolve, the message evolves because I am the message, right? This is really me sharing my life on the podcast. So yes, you haters that go, all she does is talk about her life. That is correct. That's the whole purpose of it. Let me share what I've experienced in my life. So we relate to stories. No one gives a shit about the top 7 steps. I mean, we're still going to relate to that stuff. Let me back that up. We're still going to have attention to that, but really understanding stuff comes through stories. What do we do with our kids at night? We tell them stories. When we go to the movies, what are we looking for? A story. We want to be moved. We want to be inspired. We want to feel something. Stories do that, and that's why I share the stories of my life with a purpose, right? With an intention, which is to help you see the lesson that I learned from it. Or maybe you can listen to the story and you see something entirely different for you. But as I'm evolving, which is constantly with this work, then the message evolves. And that came up through journaling. Something became really clear to me, which I didn't really, you don't realize sometimes kind of what's deep down inside until you pull it out. And you pull it out through your words. And so one thing you're going to be hearing more of me is like my real deep why. I've talked about this in other episodes. And, before this, it was like my deep why was really for your children or your soon-to-be children. And that might sound kind of weird, just like, well, I'm here for your kids. And the reason is this, is like, I know that impacting you as a woman is going to impact you as a mother, is going to impact you as a wife. And impacting you as a mother means that your children are going to see you showing up differently in life. They're going to see you being different. And our children aren't going to pay attention to what we say. They pay attention to what we do and how we be, how we show up. So see, to me, as much as I am excited and thankful to have you listening to this message, I know there's a bigger piece to this, and it's your kids. It's to really see a shift. So when I asked the questions, I did the Women Wanting More Experience Facebook page, which, by the way, side note, if you're not already there, fucking go to Facebook right now, type in Women Wanting More Experience, request to be added. It's a group of almost 600 women now. It's exploding. It's a free Facebook community that I created where I throw out questions, videos a couple times a week, and just have you really start to do some of this work. It's not coaching. It's not sisterhood at all. It's very, very different. But it gives you a starting place. So I threw out questions today of what are the doubts you have? But 98% of them are different versions of I'm not enough. Yep, I'm not enough. So we have some broken shit to fix in our world. And it comes from within. Yes, there's awful shit happening in the world. I'm not going to even go and talk about that. Because as much as what I'm about to say might really fucking trigger you, it's the truth, which is this. It's not relevant. And it's not relevant for this reason. Be open right now. Because some of you right now are really pissed from me saying this. It's not to say that people have lost lives to, terrorism or like awful stuff or disease. It's not to say that's not relevant or those people don't matter. They do. But what I mean is there's so many people ranting about all the negative and the bad shit in the world, and they don't realize that the one thing you have to control, the one impact you make is with you. It's not even with your kids. It's not with your marriage. It's not with what you do with work. It's you. It's you. You figuring out who you are. Because here's what I believe, and here's what you'll start hearing from women wanting more, which is, this came to me through journaling, through my own personal scripture, which is this. I believe that if women plugged in to their power as wives, mothers, selves, that there would be more love in the world. I believe that if you, sister, plugged into the power that is you, as a wife, as a mother, as you, as a woman, that there will be more love in this world. Period. Now, you're going to uncover whatever you need to uncover in your journaling, right? I created something recently called the More Mindset System, which is a way to really learn some of the tools to give you, like, really some of the I'm going to say quick and dirty, but they're not really quick. But, to give you, like, real tactical. It's like, well, how do I really start this stuff? How do I figure out what I want and who I am? And you know what? All of these things involved journaling exercises with each of the videos. Because it's not about like, oh, Karen, just give me the answers. I remember my husband and I, we had a coach when we were chiropractors, one of our coaches when we were chiropractors, and we just kind of be like, just tell us what to do and we'll do it. Tell us to do this thing, talk this way with patients, done. Tell me to, say certain words, I'll do it. Tell me to, market a certain way or teach a workshop this way or to I'm in, I'm done. I'll just do it. Now what happened, and that was okay. But I also heard this weekend a great, I mentioned this actually in a recent podcast, Simon Sinek, who wrote the book called Start With Why. He wrote a recent one too called Find Your Why, which I will be reading, and I'll give you feedback on that. But for you, I don't know how to find my why. He created it for this, called Find Your Why. But first book, Start Your Why, he is one of the most talked about and watched TED Talks of all time. And he really, when he was speaking in the weekend, talked about this, which was a couple things. One is how you show up in the world is your why. Your why will be known by how you live, how you show up, how you live your life, right? Shit. See, this is what happens when I get caught up in my own stories, is I'm really sharing this with you, because I imagine you're just sitting across from me. We're having coffee, we're going for a walk, and I'm having this conversation with you. So in all conversations, sometimes you're like, where was I again? And if you listen to the podcast for a while, I go there sometimes, right? Okay, so I was talking about personal scriptural journaling, the stuff that comes out. So I pulled up to my house, I can hear my dogs barking. They're like, come inside the house. Okay, it'll come back to me if it needs to come back to me. But here's the biggest piece of that is it is so important for you to get words out on paper every single day. You discovering who you are, accepting who you are, not saying that you're not enough, but knowing that you're enough. And you can keep wanting more, by the way. That's totally cool. You can be part of this movement, this revolution of more. Yeah, absolutely. That just means that you're becoming more. There's deeper levels. There's always more layers. It doesn't mean you're not enough. Doesn't mean you're not happy. Doesn't mean you're not fulfilled and satisfied. But you just are like, what's the next step for me now? Cool. I'm here. Now where do we go? Right? If you love to travel, you don't travel once and go, well, traveling's done. I went to Cuba. You're like, cool, that was so exciting. What's the next thing? Because there's certain parts of traveling that you really resonate with the experience. It doesn't mean that you do it and you stop. When is it ever a good thing to stop doing the things that actually make us better humans? It's crazy, right? We think what we've done is somehow it's a time period, like, it's done. No. Journaling will get you to that place. Journaling will get you there. So here's your more tip for today. Actually, I'm going to give you 2 different more tips, because this is where I really started when I was being more consistent with journaling again, is I would because if I was like, I don't know what I'm going to write about, right? I would just go like, it's a page. It's no big deal. I had it as a set time, part of what I call my more for every single morning. And I would just write 1 page, and I would go, today I'm grateful for, and I would just start writing. And sometimes it would be something specific. Sometimes it would veer off into something else. But I made a simple commitment to writing every single day a page. It might be more than a page some days. But it literally was like 5 or 10 minutes of my time. Don't tell me you don't have 5 or 10 minutes to invest in figuring out who you are. It's fucking everything. It's everything. Listen, if you continue to live your life like just trying to keep your head above your water, sister, you will just barely fucking survive. It's not even living. And it's certainly not thriving. You're just not drowning each day. Your life was not meant to be that way. Do you know that? Your life was meant to be more. Your life was meant to be accepting and honoring, discovering who you are deeper and deeper and deeper. Because you is the only thing you have to bring to this table of this game of life here. Bring to the table. It's you. Nobody else like you. You've all heard that before, right? Like, there's nobody like you. You are robbing me, everybody else in your life, the world, the gifts of you if you fucking shut it down and don't take the time to figure that shit out. So 5 or 10 minutes a day, you're going to start journaling. Commit to this for the next 30 days. Either at the top of the page, say, today I'm grateful for, and start writing. Or you can start to ask things like, who am I? I am, and start writing. I want, and start writing. These things I want matter because. My why is, and start writing. Believe me, once you start this as daily practice, it'll be like drinking from the fire hose. You will start writing. I'm pissed about this thing. Like, get it out. You want to get it on a paper, or do you want to get that in front of that person's face and do it? Do you want to give yourself some space to get some clarity on stuff? Or do you want to just, ruminate and spin around in your head and just have that shit just eat you up? Start journaling, sister. It will change your fucking life. It's not woo-woo. It's your personal scripture. It matters because you do. It's time for you to find your fucking power. As a wife, as a mom, for you. For you. Journaling is it. So, here's what you need to do to get your free journal. Okay? I'm going to give this to you. There's only so many, but it's a Women Who Want More limited edition journal. Mailed by me personally at this point. So yeah, that's right now. There's about, I had first 65 the first round, we're into round 2 now. There's like about 80 so far. They'll be getting mailed out shortly with love. Every single one of them will have touched my hands, and you get to have one. So here's what you need to do. Go to drkarenosburn.com/free journal. So I'm going to spell it for you. www.drkarenosburn, drkarenosburn.com/free journal. You just take care of the shipping, and I send that to you, my gift to you, sister. So I will talk to the next episode of Life of More. It's just one step away from me doing the fucking work and journaling every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.